Story 1. My mom passed without a will, and her husband kept all the inheritance from my grandpa, so I messaged everyone he knows and told them.
My mom passed away last year, the day before my birthday, after over 5 months of suffering. She didn't know how bad she was, and then it was too late to make a will. She even mentioned this to me the last time I saw her, a couple of weeks before she passed. She apologized to me, and even said that since her husband was getting it I probably wouldn't see a penny of it. Because of the state she passed and all the inheritance went to her husband. I was on good terms with him and he agreed to share half of it with me, to my surprise. It was nice to know I could trust him, and he was the only thing left I had that was connected to my mother. All of my other family has passed away, so I'm all on my own. After many months of going back and forth with him and trying to figure out when he would send me the money, I realized he was lying to me. He kept giving me excuses and stories about how he'd send it to me tomorrow, next week, next month. It never stopped. At one point he told me he had a relative in Europe that left him $1 million, and if I could just wait until he got that he would double what he told me he would give me. Finally I had enough of being jerked around and I told him I thought he was lying. He blocked my number. There was nothing I could do, or was there? It's not much, but I realized that while I could not see his friends list on FB, I could see all his posts where his friends commented. I could see all the birthday wishes left on his profile. So I went to all of those people and sent them a carefully crafted message about what happened and how much money he got. The thing about my mom's husband is that their whole relationship he was dealing with issues his brother caused when their father passed, and the brother stole the power of attorney and stole all of the inheritance. All of his friends and family have been hearing stories about how crap his brother is and how he was going to pay. Now this man is doing to me what his brother did to him. Even if his friends don't care about him being a bad person, maybe they would be interested in knowing how much money he got. I've heard the stories about people winning the lottery and how all their friends and family turned on them. I'm hoping he will get some crap from some people, and even more people contacting him with their hands out. I hope he ends up with no one on his side, so he'll know how I feel being on my own.
Comment 1. Nicely done. I hope karma truly does sort him out and give him what he deserves. I'm so sorry for your loss. Losing a parent sucks. And as one grieving adult child to another, I wish you so much peace and happiness.
Comment 2. I hope he gets what's coming to him. It might be worth consulting a lawyer to see if any of his communication regarding a split of the inheritance is enforceable. Good luck. Comment 3. If you only heard about the brother being a dick from mom's hubby and people who also heard it from mom's hubby, it's probably made up by mom's hubby.
Comment 4. According to this, you are entitled.
Comment 5. What state? Usually the spouse is sole heir when a person dies without a will, only when there are no living descendants.
Comment 6. NAL, but in New York it's supposed to be split 50-50ths with the spouse and children if there was no will left. My friend's father passed away suddenly without a will and her mother got 50% and the rest of the children got the other 50%. Please consult a lawyer.
Story 2. It's whom you know.
The setup. A neighbor built a covered and semi-enclosed patio/kitchen using our shared back fence, which is made of cinder blocks, as part of the structure, which was fully plumbed, wired, and equipped with the usual kitchen appliances, an expensive sound system, and an expensive-looking faux crystal chandelier. I choose to ignore everything because it caused no physical harm to anyone and was concealed from my sight by the tall shrubs on my side of the fence. Live and let live, right? Wrong. One day, he falsely accused me of throwing dog feces into his pool. I did not own a dog at the time, nor could any dogs access my fully fenced-in backyard. He also encouraged his party guests to throw their empties and other trash into my backyard as retaliation, and laughed in my face when I told him to stop. Call the cops? He was a cop. Cue the revenge. So I met with a very good friend of mine, who just happened to be the city's director of code enforcement, and he determined that several code violations had been committed, in addition to the fact that no building permits for the structure had ever been issued by his division. He slapped the neighbor with violation notices, a large fine, and an order to completely remove the illegal structure or face an even bigger fine. The neighbor's own boss, the chief of police, read the report, examined the evidence, and refused to intervene. The fallout. Neighbor had to comply or risk losing his job, so he put all of his fancy appliances and fixtures in a rented storage locker, tore down the structure, and eventually sold all the appliances and fixtures at auction just before he and his family moved away. Man, that chandelier sure looks nice hanging over my dining room table.
Comment 1. Petty revenge, best served torn down and auctioned.
Comment 2. No, you didn't buy the chandelier. XD. Comment 3. I retired as a police supervisor, but not a chief of police, cop. I'm not especially surprised that the chief of police refused to intervene for a couple reasons. 1. Other than the neighbor being happy because he got one over on the system, there is no upside for the COP. The report was made by code enforcement. If cop tries quashing it or intervening, it's public record and would not be hard to find out she did. 2. Partly for the same reason as 1, it looks corrupt if the cop had gotten involved. In today's political climate, it would probably have ended the cop's career. I guarantee the report was looked at by the department. In mine, it would have definitely been reviewed by internal affairs. Comment 4. He was a crappy cop if he was going to make stupidly false accusations. They should have to take regular problem-solving tests. Maybe a bird picked it up and dropped it in the pool. Comment 5. I hope the chandelier always makes you smile.
Comment 6. And all he had to do was just not be a POS. Amazes me how people shoot their own leg.
Story 3. Gym Drama. How a sled-pulling diva got herself kicked out.
I've been going to this gym for about 3 years now, and my friend and I like working out in the turf area because it has setups for many lower body exercises. Today, we ended up there around 11 a.m., and it was pretty busy. We found a spot and started doing hip thrusts. Everything was fine until this lovely lady showed up to do sled pulls right next to us. We noticed she was getting really close to our space, but since it was busy, we didn't mind and just kept working out. After finishing our sets, we unracked the weights and put the plates back. We then moved on to Bulgarian split squats in the same area. The empty barbell we used for hip thrusts was still there, and it got a little in the way of her sled pulls. My friend was in the middle of his set when she, finishing her sled pull, angrily demanded we move the barbell. Not wanting to cause a scene, I quickly moved it out of the way, even though she could have literally moved a foot to the side from her original sled pull route. I could kind of understand how it might be frustrating to adjust her route at the very end, so I didn't say anything to her and just gave a glance to my friend like, what the hell is her problem? She finished her set while loudly talking on her AirPods about how these show no respect for women and men just get all in the way of women at the gym. I was shocked and angry, especially since we were at our spot before she even got there, so I sneakily put the barbell back where it originally was, not completely in the way of her sled pull but just enough to make her notice. A few minutes later, she noticed the barbell was back and turned beet red. She lifted it over her head and threw it across the turf, nearly hitting 2 people. They were just as shocked as we were. She started yelling at us, saying, "I will slap the Chinese out of you. And I'm not the one to play with." She also claimed, "You can't just put the barbell back there, I will get hurt." Even though she had finished her set and could clearly see I put the barbell back. We were dumbfounded by her reaction but didn't want to waste our energy arguing. Instead, we let her scream at us, drawing attention to herself so the managers could see what was going on. My friend and I just laughed in her face and kept doing our split squats. The best part? The gym managers called her over, and I'm pretty sure she got kicked out. If she had just been a decent human being and asked nicely, she wouldn't have gotten in trouble. Sweet, sweet petty revenge.
Comment 1. What kind of dumbbell throws barbells? Comment 2. Good lord, she could have seriously hurt someone and that gym could have been sued. They better have thrown her ass out. If you see her again, I would remind the managers of this.
Comment 3. So the barbell got the bell barred? Comment 4. Sounds like you met Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Comment 5. Roid rage. If she is pulling a sled, she is not your average gym rat that works out just to be healthy. Steroid use is notorious for uncontrolled anger outbursts. Comment 6. Plot twist. She was having problems canceling her gym membership, so she took a different approach.